Hej kochani, witajcie serdecznie w kolejnym odcinku ze Starfield. Idziemy dokończyć naszą misję. A mianowicie idziemy na poziom, idziemy chyba do... tak, do baru. Bo spełniliśmy warunek.
Yeah?
Długi Percivala w urzędzie handlowym, w sumie to dług, został spłacony.
Did you now? Fine work. My end of the bargain then, I suppose. He's holed up in the old Red Devil's HQ. Place was sealed up tight after the UC shuttered our unit, but we snuck him in the back entrance through the deep mines. Was also going to warn you about spacers down there. But it sounds like you might have already tossed those drakes. Yeah, the passkey. And I'll let him know there's someone he owes one hell of a thank you on their way down.
Dokładnie. 500 kredytów, wow. No to nam dali. Taka ciężka robota, a tu 500 kredytów. No ale urząd handlowy nam jeszcze trochę dał, więc niech będzie, że zarobiliśmy trochę na tym. Teraz gdzie on się chowa? Czy to jest gdzieś tutaj ta siedziba, czy ona będzie gdzieś? Chyba nam każą wyjść. No dobra, zobaczmy. W takim razie na zewnątrz jakieś tylne wyjście. Więc mam nadzieję, że to na tej planecie. W sumie nie wspomniałam, gdzie jest ich siedziba. Czyżby nam każą wrócić do naszego statku? Jeżeli tak, to znaczy, że musimy polecieć na... chyba nie. Chyba... Znajdź Percivala, ale dobra. No to... Może gdzieś tutaj? Wydaje się blisko ta kropeczka. Może wcale nie jest tak blisko. Nie pokazuje ile metrów. Niestety. Chyba będzie gdzieś tutaj. Porzucone kopalnie? Tutaj, gdzie przed chwilą byliśmy, to on się chowa? Brak bezpośredniego... No dobra. Mam wrażenie, że... No dobra. No mówił, że tam mogą być odrzuty, ale że się już nimi zajęliśmy. Właśnie tak jakby to było w tym miejscu, gdzie tu byliśmy, ale... Spróbujmy go znaleźć tutaj. Nie wiem, gdzie się mam kierować. Bo właśnie jest brak bezpośredniej drogi, więc muszę jakoś sama wymyślić, którędy przejść i jak. Oj. Czekaj. Wygląda na to, że w dobrą stronę idę. Tu byliśmy, to pamiętam. Tutaj był bosik. No i tu przez kopalnię trzeba było przejść jakoś. Dalej brak bezpośredniego... No dobra, poszukamy. Gdzieś go... No tędy nie. No ale że on tu zaraz gdzieś za ścianą? Nie. Ale się schował, kurczę. Może pójdziemy sobie górą? Percivalu. O! Czekaj tu. Dobra, jest i klucz, którego użyliśmy. Teraz co my tutaj mamy? O, tu mi już pokazuje drogę do niego. Jestem z siebie dumna, nie zgubiłam się. Ale ukrył się niesamowicie. Raczej urząd by go tutaj nie znalazł. O kurde. Chłopie. No ale... Aha, tu jest droga jakaś. Ale go ukryli. Czekajcie, bo to jest kopalnia, tu może coś fajnego będzie. Tu, żeby nie spaść. Dobra. O, kredyty. Trudny. Regulator mikrosekund i skórzane ubranie syntetyczne. Nawet fajnie wygląda. A, zbyt dużo biegnę, zbyt dużo. Trudno. Damy... czekaj. Pozbieramy sobie. Czyżby doktor dalej prowadził badania tutaj? Co to za muzyka? Wychodzi na to, że odkryłam coś super. Łohoho. No ładna placówka, ładna, bo to jest ta siedziba ich, nie? Wejście przez kopalnię, rozumiem. Ale gdzieś jeszcze jest wejście o wiele szybsze. No i mamy cię tu zaraz. Pozwólcie, że wyrzucę jednak ten skafander. I coś jeszcze. Ten gwardii sobie zostawimy. No
Can't say
siema.
I don't appreciate it, but I doubt you came all this way just to do me a favor. Now you want to explain to me why you're going around harassing nefarious old men by wiping away their hard-earned debts?
Dr. Walker, mam próbkę tkanki, którą trzeba przeanalizować. Pełne badanie. Albo jestem tu, żeby przekazać przesyłkę od twojej starej znajomej, Hadrian Sanon.
Adrian sent you. Did she look okay?
Żyje, ale została ranna, próbując zebrać to, co ci dostarczam.
Sounds like Adrian. Watch that woman lose a digit trying to get a better tissue sample.
What? You can reattach a finger, Percy.
So what exactly did she have you bring me?
Komórki terraforma z osiedla zbyt młodego, by pojawił się na nim terraform.
Adrian said that, huh? If she made you come all the way for this... Let's get inside. I need to see these cells.
A my też tu jesteśmy w stroju. No tak. To my też tam wejdziemy. Do kwatery czerwonych diabłów. O, tu już jesteśmy bez skafandra, rozumiem. Tak. O, jakie logo. O, jaki tu
Didn't ask you
bałagan.
to not touch anything. Got some projects in the works down here. I wasn't expecting guests.
No, ja tak myślałam, że tutaj sobie dalej
Oh,
pracuje.
And Lou mentioned how you took care of the debt. Can't say I'm thrilled the Trade Authority got their mitts on the research, but I guess that's the price you pay not to live in a cave the rest of your days.
No, nie ma za co.
All queued up. Let's gaze into this abyss, shall we?
Jaką masz
All
fa-
right, just get those cellular markers tagged. Wait, where are the markers?
This can't be right. This sample, it's Londinian. I'll need to get this all in a slate. Adrian really gave you this sample. You're not lying to me? Because if you told me this was a hoax, and it'd be the best damn fake I've ever seen. I'd be mad and very, very relieved.
Próbka nie jest podrobiona, została własnoręcznie przeze mnie zebrana z Terrormorfa. Terrormorf. Muszę zapamiętać tę nazwę. No tak.
Can't just humor an old man, huh? This sample, it's got all the indicators of the worst terramorph attack in human history. I presume you've heard of Londinium.
Brzmi znajomo.
It was a city wiped completely off the map by terramorphs. The swarms are so bad, they had to blow the spaceport and seal the place off from the galaxy at large. Not a lot of samples made it off the world from the time of the attack, but the ones that did, well, they look just like this one. I didn't detect any of the telltale signatures this specimen ever sat on a ship while it was alive, either. I don't think it was transported to Tal Ceti. This specimen, it grew there, faster than any terramorph should. Which means, if we're about to start a new era in human-terramorph relations, where big, sudden Londinian-style attacks can happen outside Londinian, that's not gonna end well for humanity.
That is the definition of an existential threat. Dear Lord.
So, you lugged this bad omen all the way here. You wanna tell me what your plans are for it now?
Mam rozkaz zabrać ciebie i tę analizę do Hadrian. Powinna czekać w Sixth Circle. Zakładaj buty, powstrzymamy kolejne ataki, zanim się rozpoczną. O!
Music to my ears. Here, faster we take the lift to the surface. Not supposed to use it, but given the circumstances, I'm inclined to just ask forgiveness. Let's get going.
Klucz. Kolejny klucz. A, on podąża za mną w takim razie. No to dobra, pokaż gdzie tutaj. Mam nadzieję, że to nie było żadnych super skrzynek. Tak jeszcze szybciutko sobie zerkniemy. Dobra, nic tu nie macie. Chodź, doktorku. Może jeszcze szybko zerknę tutaj. No właśnie.
Xenowarfare. UC's dark, dirty secret. Bastards.
Nie stresuj się. I wyprzedza go na prostej. Pierwszy. No, jesteśmy w środku, co teraz? A. Okej, to było dziwne. Doktorek nam gdzieś zniknął. I teraz rozumiem, że każą nam wrócić. To myślę, że szybciej będzie... Poczekaj, bo ja spadam i nie pozwolą mi. I każą nam wrócić... Gdzie oni nam każą wrócić? Do miasta. Idziemy tak, nie będziemy znowu biegli taki kawał. To w sumie tak, ja to wam wycięłam, ale to był kawałek do przebiegnięcia. Zresztą tak samo jak w poprzednim odcinku bieg do tej kopalni. No to teraz trzeba było przebiec to z powrotem. Znaczy nie z powrotem, jeszcze raz po prostu. O, już jest dwójka. Fajny masz ten kombinezon. Fajne kolorki. Miejmy nadzieję, że nasza koleżanka już jest cała i zdrowa, wyleczona.
Ever been to Aquila? No security.
I znowu do windy. Nie czekamy na nich, pojadą następną.
Is that really her? Hadrian.
O,
Percival. My God, look at you. You're an old man now.
You're no hassling yourself anymore, Major. Our friend here showed me your sample. Suffice it to say,
Not here. Let's talk somewhere more private. Lou said we could use the back.
okej. Widzicie, co w transmisji jest napisane? Mantis żyje i powrócił.
It's really, really hard not to stare into their eyes. Shit, I'm doing it again.
Lou gave me the abridged version of what went down. Yeah, I can't thank you enough for taking care of all that.
Makes two of us.
I hope it ultimately didn't end up being too much trouble.
Było trochę więcej strzelaniny niż zazwyczaj mam podczas dostaw, ale nic, z czym nie można było sobie poradzić.
That's certainly not what I was expecting you'd have to go through. But thank you. I'm just glad you both came through intact. So, were you two able to get that workup together?
Got it right here. That sample? It's an exact match for the ones from Londinian.
Londinian. That's exactly what I was afraid of.
Not thrilled to be the bearer of that kind of news. That's for damn sure. So tell me you've got some kind of plan for that workup.
Well, right now, we've got more questions than answers. So I've been trying to figure out what it's gonna take to access our old Terramorph data.
Good place to start. What'd you find?
It's in the archives.
The Armistice Archives? Doesn't that mean we'd be dealing with the Cabinet? And the Freestar Collective? And House Varun somehow? Guess we can kiss that approach goodbye.
I didn't think the cabinet would be willing to hear us out either. But I called in some favors. They've agreed to hear us out on 2 conditions. 1, they want to see this analysis you two have procured. And 2, they want to discuss what happened on Tau Ceti. With both of us.
Nie brzmi to jak zwykłe dane. Chyba jesteśmy winne wyjaśnienie. No, a właśnie czym są te archiwa paktu i co mają wspólnego z kolektywem Wolnych Gwiazd i rodem Varun? O.
Well, when the Colony War came to a close 19 years ago, with the signing of the armistice, 3 factions were involved in the negotiations. The UC, Freestar, and House Varun. They made a lot of decisions about what sort of tactics should and shouldn't be permitted in future conflicts. All information related to the things they decided should be banned was locked away in the archives. Now, it's possible to get things out of there, but only with the agreement of members from all 3 factions. And as to what our research is doing in there, well, I'll get to that.
Okej. Dobra.
Well, that's about the best news I've had all day. But before you commit, I want to make sure you know the whole story. Percival and I, we're not just researchers. We were military scientists, ran a division of the UC together that deployed aliens on the battlefield as weapons.
Place I was hiding out. That was our unit's home base.
After some early fits and starts at other facilities, the place eventually became the heart of UC xeno-warfare. A practice that's been banned ever since the armistice went into effect almost 20 years ago. And the UC military cut us loose for what we'd done.
Tak się składa, że wiem, kim jesteś, twoja przeszłość mnie nie obchodzi. No ciekawiło mnie, czy kiedykolwiek podzieliście ze mną tą perełką.
Oh. You already knew. I'm sorry about that. It didn't seem relevant in the moment, and well, it's not something I'm exactly proud of. But it was during that assignment that the UC asked us to explore deploying terramorphs on the battlefield. The project never got off the ground, but the data our team gathered is now sitting in the archives, along with all the other information banned after the Colony War. Under the watchful eye of monitors from all the galactic factions still participating in regular politics. But if we can convince the cabinet to help us access that data, it'll give us the tools we need to decipher what exactly this sample might mean. And hopefully, how to prevent more attacks like the one that spawned it.
Nie zachwyca mnie, że ukryłaś przed moją informację, ale chyba mogę ci pomóc. Skąd ma wiedzieć, że mogę ci ufać, że te dane nie są niebezpieczne? O.
Because the Terramorph project was doomed from the start. Terramorphs are too mean, too smart, too hungry to be used in combat. Trust us, we tried. The data that's in the archives, it's historical write-ups, anatomical notation, food chain analyses. I doubt they would have even classified it if it didn't have a Xeno Warfare logo on it. You have my word. It's not a threat.
No dobra, to porozmawiamy z tym rządem.
All right. I'm gonna go get this work up into the cabinet's hands. I'll meet you out front of Mast in New Atlantis.
Good luck. You two are gonna need it.
You know, just one look, you get my heart.
9000 kredytów, kochana. Kurczę, mocno przegadane te questy, muszę przyznać. Spotkaj się z Hadrianem w Nowej Atlantydzie. No dobra, naoczny świadek. Nie wiem, mamy się we Wnacie spotkać. No, questy są... Oj, już myślałam, że to się zepsuło. Questy są mega długie, nie ma szans, żeby w jednym odcinku zmieścić wszystko. Poza tym to są takie łańcuszki, że wiecie, no jeden quest prowadzi do kolejnego, do kolejnego, do kolejnego i to kończy się 10 questami. Nie idziemy do loży, wiesz? Idziemy do rządu. Dla którego w sumie teraz pracujemy.
Captain! Over here!
Kaptyn. Jak oni ładnie mnie teraz tytułują. No, dlaczego naciskasz R?
The workup's in the cabinet's hands. They said they'll call for us once they've gotten to properly review it. But listen, I know I should have been more forthcoming about who I was earlier. So, in the interest of full disclosure, there's one more thing you ought to know before we head up there.
Okej.
My relationship with the UC. It's more complicated than it might seem at first glance. The UC's actually the only reason I'm here in the first place. I am a clone of a man named Francois Sanon, one-time fleet admiral of the UC during the Colony War, former head of the UC Navy.
Co?
They called him Ve Victus. Woe to the defeated, in Old Earth Latin. A title he earned. The program I was a part of, it was the UC's attempt to create a new generation of military minds from one of their most respected tacticians. Secure the leadership of the UC military for generations to come.
Ten Victis musiał być wspaniałym dowódcą, skoro tylko chciały go sklonować. Jesteś klonem mężczyzny? Jak to możliwe? No właśnie.
A non-trivial amount of gene editing. Clone, honestly, isn't even really the right term for our relationship, thanks to the amount of donor material that was required to bring me into this world. He and I are different on more than a few levels, but there's no denying the fact we're inextricably linked.
Aha, czyli ona jest normalnym człowiekiem, normalnie poczętym. Znaczy, może nie normalnie poczętym, ale normalnie przyszła na świat, ale po prostu, no wiecie, nie będę tu wchodzić w szczegóły. Czy inni z twojego programu wciąż żyją, pozostałe klony?
I'm the last. A
O,
few of my siblings, they passed when we were young. Training accidents and the like. But most of the rest were deployed to the front lines during the Colony War, and they never came back. Not a day goes by where I don't think about what the world would look like with them still in it.
wygląda na to, że nie udało im się zabezpieczyć tego dziedzictwa. No musiał być wspaniałym dowódcą.
He would have happily told you he was one of the greats. Ultimately, though, it didn't matter. The man I was cloned from, my father, was executed for acts he committed during the war.
To widzieliśmy.
The man caused a lot of death on both sides. Freestar Collective and UC. Military and civilians. And the things he did, well, they're a part of the reason the UC and Freestar Collective aren't really on great terms to this day. So my involvement, it could be another obstacle they throw at us up there. I just wanted you to be forewarned.
W ogóle fajnie wyjaśniają te historie, bo my to ostatnio oglądaliśmy na tych takich scenkach, a tutaj gdybyśmy nie oglądali, to ona nam też fajnie wyjaśnia mniej więcej, jak to wszystko wyglądało. Co zrobił twój ojciec, by zasłużyć na egzekucję? No to właśnie oglądaliśmy. Reta, wydało mi się, że moja rodzina jest pokręcona. A więc wykorzystujesz mnie, aby odwrócić ich uwagę. Nie wiem, czy mogę za to winić, twoja rodzina chyba nie była wzorem cnót. Nie jesteś swoim ojcem. Jeśli rząd tego nie widzi, to ich problem, a nie twój. Możemy i tak powiedzieć.
I really appreciate you saying that. I just thought you deserved to know, considering how much you've done already.
I certainly understand what a burden unwanted family legacy can be at times. Good or bad.
O właśnie,
They
sam coś
do
o tym
find a
wiem.
way of injecting themselves into your lives, don't they? Just our lot, I suppose.
You know, while we've got a second, was there anything else we needed to discuss? I know you got dropped into the middle of this pretty
Nie
fast.
uśmiechaś się tak ładno do sama.
Or if you've got any last-minute business to attend to, now might be a good time. No telling how long the cabinet's gonna keep us waiting out here.
Właściwie to muszę załatwić. A jakieś sugestie sam powiedzieć?
Well, thinking about it more, I suspect there'd be value in sharing the fact that the Terramorph project was, well, a failure. There's no need to be afraid of this data being weaponized. Knowing that should calm some of the cabinet's fears and make it easier for us to dispel any suspicions the other factions might have about our intentions.
Okej. A tak szczerze, jakie zagrożenia wiążą się z naszym dostępem do tych danych?
Eye strain from the amount of reading I've got on the horizon if we succeed. The Terramorph project never went anywhere. It couldn't. They're deadly creatures, but they aren't xenoweapons. The cabinet not opening the archives is probably a bigger risk than them handing over the files. That data itself isn't dangerous. Which
Okej.
probably wouldn't be a bad point for us to bring up, should the opportunity arise.
No dobra.
Then I guess it's just a matter of...
The cabinet meeting is about to begin. All parties, please proceed to the cabinet chambers.
Sounds like our cue.
No to
Here we
lecimy.
go.
Ah, Captain. Congratulations on joining the ranks of the Vanguard.
A, dziękuję. Lecimy na meeting. No właśnie, bo my jesteśmy tutaj już częścią tego, więc powinien nas jakoś przychylniej O kurczę. No dobra. Dzień dobry, Rado.
Ah, welcome. You must be the captain Hadrian mentioned in her report. You have our thanks for the risks you faced in securing this information.
Hadrian dała jasno do zrozumienia, że rozwiązanie tej kwestii jest bardzo ważne.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
Yes, well, precisely how urgent is what I hope we'll determine here today. So now, we have two petitioners here making a surprising request. Access to the UC Xeno Warfare Team's Terramorph data, currently housed in the Armistice archives. A request which will require not just this body's agreement, but that of all three Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun. Now, Captain, we've all read Hadrian's report on the subject, but we have yet to hear from you. Perhaps you could summarize for the Cabinet what it is you see as the goal of this endeavor.
Wciąż staramy się zrozumieć, z czym mamy do czynienia, nie możemy podjąć świadomej decyzji bez danych. Potrzebujemy danych, by znaleźć sposób na powstrzymanie możliwej plagi terrormorfów. Trzeba to trochę wyolbrzymić.
That's quite the leap, Captain. Madam President, I object to the very premise of this meeting. While no one would argue that what happened on Tau Ceti was anything less than a tragedy, terrormorph attacks are not some sudden new threat on the horizon. They've been happening for generations. To demand we hand over banned archival knowledge and possibly upset the balance of galactic diplomacy because of a single attack seems at best panic. And at worst, a power grab by the daughter of a bloodthirsty warmonger and her associates.
Oj,
I would
oj.
remind the chief diplomat who he's speaking to. If it's my father you're looking to address, you're welcome to consult a medium.
I would also ask, how many deaths the cabinet requires to act? 50? 50,000? Because if tragedies like Tau Ceti are just prelude to more attacks, I have no doubt you'll get the body count you require.
Let's keep this civil, shall we? And while there should be no doubt the preservation of life stands paramount among this body's duties, Chief Yassine has a point. Will a single attack, however troubling, be sufficient to convince the other factions to grant us access to what they no doubt consider weapon data? I don't think it's enough. Perhaps you can help, Captain. As the one who actually collected the sample in question, did this terramorph seem at all alarming to you?
Zniszczył kolonię, która się tego nie spodziewała. To dość niepokojące. Wiem tylko tyle, co mi powiedziano. Jego tkanki pasują do tych z Londinionu. No właśnie.
Just taking her word for it as well, then.
So it would seem. So then, Captain, given the discussion now and the information you've been privy to thus far, if you were in our position, would you grant the request made to open the archives?
Jeśli istnieje szansa, że wydarzenia na Tau Ceti mogą się powtórzyć w innym miejscu, należy przystać na tę prośbę. Tak, jeśli obawą jest, że dane zostaną wykorzystane w złym celu, to program dotyczący terramorfów się nie powiódł. Dane nie są niebezpieczne. O.
And that data may be the key to stopping untold suffering. Greater good is calling. You gotta pick up.
That? I hadn't thought of that, Captain.
An excellent point indeed. The other powers would likely be much more inclined to work with us knowing that. Chief Diplomat.
That point is a good one. Very well, you have my agreement. The galaxy is lucky you were here today, Captain.
You and I are in agreement, Chief Diplomat. So, if there are no other objections, I believe we can agree to give our full backing to make the request to... What was that?
Attention. An incident has occurred. Facility lockdown engaged.
Co?
Incident. Chief Sarkin, what's happening?
There's been an attack at the spaceport. Terramorphs.
What?
Terramorphs. More attacks. Just as predicted.
Good God.
Holy, we need to move.
There must be another explanation. The creatures evaded our scanner somehow.
There will be plenty of time for conjecture later. Chief Sarkin, order the evacuation of the spaceport and have your men contain the things, but do it discreetly. The last thing we need is a citywide panic.
Yes, ma'am.
Admiral Logan, the local barracks can provide support?
I'll make the order myself. Nearest anti-Xeno squad, though, is off-world. Going to take a while to bring them in.
Ja jestem.
Well then, we'll have to make do with the tools we've got. You two, we can't risk those things getting out of the spaceport. I want you both on the next train there. We'll let them know you're coming and that you've dealt with these things before. Now go show them how it's done.
We're on it, ma'am. Captain, I'm right behind you. Let's get down there.
O kurde. Dobra, gdzie jest kolejka? No wiecie wy co? Ale nas robi. Ło! Spokojnie, panowie. Tutaj też wspominaliście w komentarzach, że poziom tego terrormorfa... Co tu się wydarzyło?
You need all of that?
Ale że ja mam to założyć, żeby ich nie skrzywdzić?
Bye-bye.
Lights out on that one.
Co tu się wydarzyło?
Thank you for what you did. We didn't want to hurt them.
The way those people were acting. I've seen this before. They were under the Terramorph's influence, weren't they?
I don't know. They were down at the port and they just started screaming. We tried to restrain them, get them on the train to get them out of harm's way, but some of the other officers down there, we couldn't restrain them fast enough. They just started firing on us. People we knew. They went berserk.
Pheromonic projection. Some Terramorphs, they can induce this fog. It affects everyone differently, but some people just lose control, turn against everyone around them, even if they don't want to. They're like a puppet. You kill the morph, you break the hold. But this means we're gonna need to be real careful with our fire, and keep that EM weapon at the ready.
Okej. Chyba musimy się pospieszyć. Czy to znaczy, że muszę martwić się, że zwrócisz się przeciwko mnie?
I honestly was just wondering the same thing. But no, you don't need to worry about me. I've had a Terramorph try it on me before. I'm not susceptible.
O,
So we'll just have to make sure to watch out for each other down there.
okej.
Let's do it.
That's unlocked. Please, do what you can to help them.
No to jeszcze sobie tylko przypiszemy tę broń, w razie czego do... No do 1 niech będzie. I lecimy. Wracając do tego, co mówiłam, w komentarzu zwróciliście uwagę, że poziom Terrormorfa może być różny. Mógł się wylosować wyższy. Mi się wylosował taki przystępny, muszę przyznać, bo nie było z nim problemu.
Company, I think.
God, no time to waste, Captain. Stash the EM and pull some firepower. Let's move!
Issued for the spaceport district. All citizens are required to proceed to the nearest shelter.
O kurde.
You might back up. Just fill it.
Czekaj, bo ja mam za duże obciążenie. Coś tu jest nie halo. Wyrzućmy te rzeczy. Tu jakieś jeszcze hełmy w ogóle dziwne. I nasza broń. To była chyba... Może być ta. A zrobimy mu jeszcze... O to. Ciekawe, czy za niego zadziała.
Wait,
Tylko jeden?
officer? Are you and this woman experts? Take whatever we can get right now.
Chyba trochę mi się tam coś...
We've got the remaining creatures locked down on the landing pad, but we're barely holding our perimeter. They said you've done this before, huh? Well, we've got one fire team to spare and whatever supplies you need, but I can't risk them taking over any more of my men. Put those things down and do it fast. We'll hold them as best we can.
Aha. Porozmawiaj z drużyną ogniową?
Heard you might be looking for some backup. You say the word, we're out there on your 6.
You two have any experience with Terramorphs before?
Only the brief they just gave on the way here, but we know how to handle pressure.
Surviving a full-on mental assault isn't the same as keeping your cool in a firefight. Might make you more liability than asset.
We're not UC security. You don't need to worry about us.
Jesteś pewien, że nie zwrócicie się przeciwko nam?
We're not afraid, but we'll stay here and hold the line if that's what you want. You're the experts.
Może lepiej zostańcie na
Your
miejscu.
call. We're on the line.
Zostańcie lepiej na miejscu, bo coś mi się tutaj to nie podoba. Wiecie co, ten pistolet chyba był lepszy. Którędy ja mam tu iść? Kurczę, biedaki. Dajcie trochę kredytów. Mój statek! Oho. Dobra, może jednak ten. Ma 19 poziom tylko? Dobra. Tam jest jeszcze jeden. Tak? Tak. Wychodzi na to, że tak. Czy jest tu grawitacja? Kurczę. Nie dadzą poskakać. Gdzie ty jesteś? Gdzie ty się chowasz? No niewiele mu to zrobiło. Sam... O kurde.
You're going to be okay. It's not real. Whatever you're experiencing right now, it's not real.
Okej.
We have to put down that morgue.
Okej.
Here they come along the path to end their living days at last. Target down. Nice work, Captain.
I wonder what Jacob would think of a crow helping to save New Atlantis. Damn if I'm not proud of it, though.
Ja też. No dobra. Kurczę, to takie ataki na miasto. Pach, ciach i po problemie. Udało się uratować Nową Atlantydę. No teraz to już chyba sobie zasłużyliśmy na obywatelstwo. Myślę, że przyda nam się troszeczkę czystego tlenu. Bo jestem przeciążona. Sklep trochę rozwalili, ja mam nadzieję, że się uda odbudować.
Guess they weren't kidding about you too. The universe put the right people in the right place.
Ten pan tak mówi o niechcenia, jakby... To wy utrzymaliście obronę, to wy jesteście bohaterami, nie my?
Certainly doesn't feel like it.
I don't want to think what would have happened if you two hadn't been here.
O, jak się ożywił.
Just glad we could rise to the occasion. Captain, we should report back to the President. Let her know the Terramorphs have been dealt with.
Okay.
Take care of yourself, Sergeant.
Zgłoś się do prezydentki. A gdzie nasza prezydentka? Kurczę, ale faktycznie ten port trochę rozwalili, ale tutaj... Tutaj się nie dostały. To...
The spaceport has been secured. Safety precautions remain in place. Please wait for the all clear signal before exiting your home.
No, nie wychodźcie z domu, jeszcze trzeba posprzątać, usunąć zwłoki, żeby nikt się nie dowiedział, co tu się wydarzyło. Ale jak pięknie mamy teraz dowód na to, że jest zagrożenie i że trzeba z tym coś zrobić, nie? Teraz te dane powinny już gotowe czekać na nas, kurczę, na biureczku. Pani prezydentka.
That's a relief to hear. Thank you, gentlemen. Let your captain, Hadrian, it would appear that the cabinet owes you our thanks for what you did for the city today, as well as an apology. Your concerns about the Terramorphs, well, consider them validated.
Thank you, ma'am.
Lepiej późno niż wcale? Dobra, powiem dziękuję.
Of course. I only wish we could have acted sooner. Now, today's events have only clarified our path forward in the eyes of the Cabinet. You will have our full support in collecting the Terramorph data from the archives, as well as a subsequent investigation into the nature of these attacks. But to accomplish those goals, we're going to need the right people in the right places. As such, the Cabinet has authorized me to reinstate you, Hadrian, effective immediately, to your former rank of Major.
Whoa.
As soon as we've got the data in hand, we want you investigating these attacks and how to stop them. Will you do this?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. I'd be honored.
Excellent. But as you've both made clear, for such an investigation to succeed first, we're going to need someone to convince the Freestar Collective and House Varun to play ball. Someone who knows precisely the sorts of dangers the colonies and all the galaxy are facing right now.
Aha.
The Cabinet wants you, Captain, to
No
be that
oczywiście.
representative.
Jeśli jesteście pewni, że najmądrzejsze posunięcie. Ja nie mogę was reprezentować, ja jestem nikim w gwardii. Nie lepiej wysłać dyplomaty, kogoś wyszkolonego do tego typu rzeczy? No właśnie.
The Cabinet wants progress, and wants it quickly. You're already far more familiar with the situation than any diplomat would be. There's also no diplomat alive that can claim they helped keep a cadre of terramorphs off the embassy doorsteps. The cabinet was unanimous. They want you.
Ale ja jestem nikim.
We see your atypical background as a strength, not a hindrance. The people you'll be dealing with, they're rather atypical themselves. In exchange, we're willing to fast-track your citizenship upon collection of the data.
O.
So, will you help us?
Oh yeah, za obywatelstwo pewnie.
I'm glad to hear it. Now, we, of course, won't be sending you in without the proper support. Deputy McIntyre in the Office of Interstellar Affairs will be your guide on gaining access to the archives. You should be able to find her in her office across the hall. And on behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our thanks. You're dismissed.
Ile kasy.
Chief Engineer Kulkarni. Start getting a plan together for that data.
It's an exciting place to be.
Za dużo was naraz mówi. Jak tu tłoczno się nagle zrobiło. Dobrze, moi drodzy. Tak oto zaplusowaliśmy sobie po raz kolejny. Kurczę. Mam nadzieję, że odcinek wam się podobał. W następnym pójdziemy już dalej z misją. Do następnego. Bye!